So, in my opinion, organized religion primarily sucks. And yes, I realize I probably sound like a 5-year-old throwing a tantrum, but that's just my opinion, how I feel. Uh, I went to Catholic high school, and I didn't go because I'm Catholic or my family is. I really wasn't raised with any kind of a religion. And so, basically, I went because they had a really amazing science department, and I had gone to public school for my whole life up until high school. So when it came time to look for high schools, I was amazed by like the $1,000 microscopes and like carpeted floors and all the amenities that going to public school you really don't get. And so I went into it just thinking, okay, I'm going to take this as like a history class or like the religious classes that go along with it. And I'm just going to look at it as like experiencing a different culture. And it was just insane to me because, we had dress code, for instance. We didn't have to wear uniforms, but we had dress code. On holidays or like, not holidays, I don't even know what they're called. We would have special dress code for mass days, so for like Ash Wednesday and stuff like that. And you have to understand, as somebody that was raised without any kind of like religious background, it was just crazy to me to see like 1,200 people all at the same time, like the priest or whoever would like say something and just all of a sudden everyone would kneel. Or they'd say, "May God be with you," and everybody at the same time says, "And also with you." Just being around it for 4 years, like Hail Mary has been ingrained in my brain. And I mean, I don't have a problem with it being there, but like, why do I really need to know that? I don't know. And the reason that I have a problem with organized religion is just all of the rules, kind of. I really don't believe that the Bible was meant to be taken literally. I think that it's there to guide people and help maybe with choices and decision making. But basically, I believe that we are all born with the capacity for good and evil. It's your choice. There's actually a really good book that kind of explores that topic. It's called The Devil and Miss Prim by Paulo Coelho. I have such a problem with it, I guess, because primarily a lot of people that I've met who are Christian in the past, they almost try to not like recruit, but like press their beliefs and like, no, homosexuality is wrong. And it's actually really interesting to me because if anything, Jesus preached love, and acceptance is what love truly is. Accepting someone exactly as they are. Supposedly we were all created perfect in God's image or whatever. And I actually have two friends who are lesbians and they are Christian. And one of them I have debated with for years about this. When the whole Prop 8 thing in California came up, she was like really trying to convince people to vote yes. And I asked her, how the hell can you do that? Do you not care about being able to get married? And how can you live your life? And she's a perfect example because homosexuality is not a choice. Gay people are born that way. And for anybody to think otherwise, okay, why would somebody choose to live their life in a more difficult manner? It is extremely limiting and hard to be yourself anywhere in this country or even this world. Straight people can walk down any street holding hands and no one says a goddamn thing. But I don't know, maybe it's because I was raised in San Francisco, but I don't know. I grew up and I never asked my mom, like, "Mommy, why are those two girls kissing?" or "Why are those two guys holding hands?" I just saw them as two people that loved each other. And I really believe that children see things in their purest form because when you're little, that's before society has kind of put all of its rules in your head. And that's what it is. It's love, period, the end. Like, there's no argument in regards to that. And so my friend, the one who's a lesbian and she's Christian, like, she's a perfect example of that because trust me, if she could change herself, she would, because I know for a fact that she wakes up every day, like, kind of feeling like she really believes that she's sinning in God's eyes. And so, her whole response to me was, well, marriage is like a holy sacrament, and the sanctity of marriage should be preserved, and whatever, X, Y, and Z. But here's my beef with it. In this country, we are supposed to have separation of church and state. Do we? No. God is ingrained into our money, into like our, I think, into our Pledge of Allegiance. So basically, if you're going to take a religious sacrament and turn it into something that is more government mandated, like, hello, married people get tax breaks and all of that, you need to make that available to everybody. Times change. Times change the meaning of things, basically. Words and ideas and everything adapt and kind of modernize themselves. And so we need to not look at it as a religious sacrament. And so that's just one of like the tangents, whatever. But I used to just think that it was just Christianity and Catholicism, but it's not. Like, in regards to the Bible being taken completely literally, when I was living in Brooklyn, I lived on Bedford Avenue, and my friends came to visit, and the first day we drove up to Williamsburg, so we went straight up Bedford Avenue, and driving up that way, you end up going through what I believe is the largest Hasidic Jew community in this country. And now, I've seen Hasidic Jews before. I don't know if my friends had, but I had never seen like so many, and it was just like, oh my god, because everybody's kind of dressed alike, and you know, they have the hats, the curls, the like white shirts, and I mean, maybe it sounds silly, but we were all kind of wondering, like, hey, like, do they use curling irons or whatever? And I actually found a really good website that explained everything behind it. And what that website told me was it basically has to do with a verse in the Bible that says something along the lines of, and God said, thou shalt not have the corners that of thy head rounded, or it has something to do with that. I don't know. I'll post a link in the sidebar to the website. But so basically they consider this to be like the sides or the corners of the head. So on a boy's third birthday, they shave his head, and like that's whatever. So that it basically goes back to the Bible, and something as small as that to be taken so literally. And like, that's not hurting anybody, so that's fine. Like, you want to wear curls in your hair, more power to you. But it's when we start kind of manipulating the words and the stories in the Bible to mean what we think, so that it's okay to judge people and the way that they're living their lives. So I never really knew where the whole anti-gay section of the Bible was. And so my roommate in New York, Chevy, she's actually awesome. She's probably the coolest Christian that I've ever met in life. She explained to me about Sodom and Gomorrah. And at the end of it, though, she said, you know, but bottom line is that Jesus preached love and acceptance and all of that. She's like, so I don't judge anybody on their lifestyle. As long as you're a good person, that's what matters. So she was awesome. Yay, Chevy. So it was really nice to be in contact with a Christian that I did not clash with. Like, why can't people just live their lives? As long as you're not hurting anybody, what does it matter? Love is love. If I had to choose a religion, now I'm not well educated enough on any of these religions, basically, but I would probably be, I don't know if you guys have ever seen Fern Gully, the Disney cartoon. That's kind of my religion. It's the belief that like everything has a spirit. So the trees, animals, the wind, like everything coincides. So basically the universe. It's kind of a mix between like Buddhism and Taoism and putting energy out there and just that whole aspect. I'm very into alternative ways of thinking and whatever. So those are my thoughts.